With over 25 years of sales and marketing experience, formulating new ideas and marketing initiatives is where our guest, Kimball Stadler, excels. Whether delivering workshops, speaking to nonprofits and large corporations about leveraging an online marketing strategy, she works to assist people in knowing social media better by defining what to post, how to post, and frankly, why to post in this fast paced digital marketplace. She is the founder of Top Dog Performance, which is a marketing company that blends traditional networking ideas and tactics to an online presence for business professionals. And the best thing is, Kimball and I worked together for a very long time, and she is the best. So, welcome, Kimball.
Wow, thank you. My head got swollen already, but thanks, Gail. Great to hear you.
Well, you call yourself a social media coach. And although that was really unusual a few years ago, there's a lot of people out there calling themselves social media coaches. So, what does that really entail?
Well, whether it's a let's say whether it's a one-person operation or a big team, when it comes to trying to wrangle in all the different things that are going on in a marketing department or at least as a marketing function, what happens is I'm hired as the individual that comes in or on the phone. I talk to them twice a month if it's coaching them over the phone, and I log into their social media platforms, and I really help them understand what the statistics mean, what the insights mean, if they're missing hashtags, or even frankly, what is a hashtag, and try to make sure we put social back in their social media. So I don't post for them. I help them so that basically I train them how to fish so they know exactly what they're doing. And it's nice because we're working in a live environment and I'm seeing exactly what's going on. And so are they. So we're helping them. I help them learn as we have these phone calls, or they can even call me in if it's a local market area. But the social media coaching is, it really is, a big part of what I do because people want to know and understand what it looks like and what does it mean and what should they be doing for their own business. So it keeps me
So,
busy.
so, so, how do people figure out what kind of marketing they need for their business? I mean, when they call you, do they think social media is the living end and it's going to do wonders for them? Or do they view it as part of their marketing strategy?
I would probably say the first is the bigger than the second, meaning most of them feel, well, it's social media, it's free. So let's show up there and let's just get it out there on Facebook or let's just get it out there on Twitter and Instagram. And what I do is I really try to reverse engineer everything because, frankly, social media, all the platforms, it's just a way to get your information, to leverage it, and to distribute it. It's not where it starts. It actually is where it ends. So I back them all the way up to really the basics of marketing, which Gail, really well as this subject matter is alive and well, and everything you've done for so many years. You got to know your audience. You have to know everything about where do they hang out, what's the messaging, who do you want to approach. So taking all of that information, I find that most of the people that I work with, we have to start with the fundamentals all over again because they've skipped all those steps because that social media platform is kind of the bright, shiny object that they're chasing after, when actually they need to really go back to the basics and the fundamentals and build a solid foundation first before distributing that message on social media.
So, how do you evaluate what's working and not working for a client?
The inside, a lot of people would say, well, the phones don't ring, so it's not working. Okay, well, it's not that easy. But the insights, we spend a lot of time on insights, and we spend a lot of time on who's looking at all of your marketing materials. If they have Google Analytics on their website, I want to take a look at what their results are. Where's their information coming from? So with so many different platforms, I'll just give you one for instance, for Facebook. Facebook has a phenomenal insights page, and it gives you who's coming to you in a local level, where are they coming from, what age group they are. There are so many dynamics that you can really, at a glance, and it's all included. It's all free, but it's all included from the insight standpoint. You can find out just about everything about your audience, and by knowing who your audience is your message resonating with them, or does it need to change? So it's really interesting. It's all these tools we explore so they know exactly where to go to get the information, and if their message is sticking with the group that they wish to approach.
Well, there's so many new platforms out all the time, and I get invitations. Oh, go on this. Do you want to meet me on this? And I just don't want one more platform to reach somebody on. And yet, the big question is, how much time should people be spending on social media? I mean, you hear the experts saying, "Oh, you can really do it in 30 minutes a day." You have specialists like you who are working at it all the time. I mean, what should someone really say? Okay, this makes sense.
30 minutes a day is not unrealistic, but it really I would say that's how you manage it. Coming up with a marketing plan and a posting schedule is really where your time is really spent to set it up. So coming up with a plan, I would say at the beginning of the month, or let's say getting to the end, like for instance, I just did my posting schedules for all my clients for the entire month 2 weeks ago, meaning I know what theme, I know what the message is, I know what they want to sell and promote. So I know exactly, but we did some work, and that would take 1 or 2 hours, but that is 1 or 2 hours to set everything up and plan it so that when the month comes up and all these posts need to take place, that you're either well ahead of the game, you know exactly where everything's coming from. So all you have to do for that, let's give it that 30 minutes. That is not real. That is not unrealistic. So you can get in there with 30 minutes, but that's because you've already spent the time to do a plan.
Well, that's
So
true.
the
I mean,
planning is the
plan.
perfect part.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a part of any business. You have to plan and you have to know what you are doing in your business for that 30 days. There's no question about it. So,
Right.
what kind of results do you think you can receive from just social media?
Oh gosh. Well, if you do advertising on Facebook, which could be as little as $5 a day, if you get the ad right, and if you get the message right, the conversion to wherever it needs to go. Let's say you want all of that information to have drive that audience that you're trying to approach all the way back to your website. You could definitely get sales, and some of the top performers out there, and you know a lot of them too, Gail. So you've got a lot of top performers that would say, "Oh, you could get a ton of business from Facebook for $5 a day." It takes a little time to get your message right. And just because you got it right this time doesn't mean it's going to be the same next time. You may have to change that message again. But boy, you could get the phones to ring. You could get people really to download, let's say, an ebook. And for instance, I know you have a lot of ebooks. There's tests. I know you have a test. I have a few tests too. I just came up with a new ebook for LinkedIn, and it's getting really great reception. So it's a matter of the results that you get. There's different measurements. There's the phone to ring in sales. There are the capturing of an email to build your email list, because you don't get married on the first date. You have to court your client or your soon-to-be client or customer. So trying to make sure that you're building a relationship with the people that are starting to reach out to you is very important. They need to get to know who you are. That know, like, and trust is very much a byproduct of marketing, no matter if it's social media or in person or on stage. So it all wraps together, but you really need to know what your destination is and what do you really want to get from it, and then reverse engineer how you're going to go about doing it.
Well, it's interesting because you've got 6 niche industries that you work with, and they are not the normal social media niches, and they are
Nope.
mostly dominated by men. So, why did you do this?
Well, first the niches they definitely are dominated by men, and they're more real estate based. So they're the plumbers and roofers, landscapers, people that build pools and service pools, electricians, and even pest control. And with all of those tradespeople in mind, they're very much still in line with traditional marketing. Your postcards, your direct mail, your knocking on the doors. Some people still do that, but going to networking events, publications, and being in the magazines and going by ads. And then some also do just call centers. So what we're finding is they've not really changed so much. Online marketing is not something they feel very comfortable in because that's just not been their strength. So a lot of conversations I've been having was with realtors. And the realtors would say, I'm referring business all the time, but all of these people, and they were mentioning all the trades that I support, they either have horrible websites or they need major improvement of the websites, and they don't really have a social media presence. And the realtors, time and time again, would say to me and everybody else that was around me, and it was interesting because it just started kind of growing. The realtors would say, if these professions had a better presence online, I'd probably refer more business because I could just say, well, go online or go to Facebook and connect with them. So that's what I've started doing. And that's why I really hit with these niches, because those are individuals that either don't have patience or frankly, it frustrates the heck out of them on what to do with social media. So I put together content and then also coach them once a month and say, all right, so do you have before and after shots? What's been going on? Were you part of a networking group? And together on the phone with how I support these niches, we create and co-create what their own identity is. So I help them along the way. That's the coaching process. And then therefore it's not a cookie cutter from Top Dog Performance. It really is a blend, and it really needs to be, on what their personality is. And I basically supplement content when they don't have any.
So, as you said, some of these industries have hard-headed people who don't necessarily see the value of all of this. So, what does a shiny object look like to you? I mean, I would assume that these people, social media is probably the last thing on their mind. So, how do you keep them out of your way, that these shiny objects, so you can concentrate on your targeted roadmap?
Well, shiny objects, oh my gosh, we all have shiny objects. And there are so many people that are out there saying, well, if you just try this or get a dedicated phone number to have all your business come to one place and track. Oh my gosh, by the time you do a sales funnel with this person and a new different roadmap, and you listen to another strategist that talks about you need to be on all of the different social media platforms, your head is spinning. And as it's Top Dog Performance, I like to say you're chasing your tail.
Mm.
So you want to make sure that you take a look at what your audience is. And again, going back to the basics, what is your audience? Where are they at? What do they want to receive? And how do they want to receive the information? And then frankly, let's block out the rest of that and let's get really laser focused. So that a lot of the work I do is finding out what is getting them off track and what that shiny object looks like to their business. And it could be a lot of, it could be that they think they have to go to all the different networking events in order to get their name out, when a $30 ad on Facebook running for 3 days could get them more leads than going to 20 networking events. So it really is a matter of, what are you spending your time with, and are you spinning your wheels? What kind of results are you getting? So we help them address those shiny objects and squash them.
So, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with their marketing tactics?
Oh boy. To start with, I'd say it goes back to once again, the basics. Visit who your target audience is. I Gail, you and I both have heard this a million times that they say, well, who's your perfect client? And you hear